What we have, what we inherited, is what defending, what protecting with everything we have, with every weapon we can conceive and produce. This is my thoughts as I thought about the Igbo tradition of Onye kwuo, ibe kwuo. Translated to English, this means let every man speak. Let A speak, let B speak. In other words, let everybody's voice be heard. I gave this a lot of thought because I usually go home and review things that happened. Since the violent conflict in Eastern Europe started, I've thought about how the violence precipitated by Russia affects the Igbo people. Because everybody in the world is affected. Most Igbos do not know that if the Igbo people will ever have a place in the sun, it will be if the world democratizes, if the rule of law, free press, and democracy takes hold of greater parts of the world. Most Igbos are not aware of this. Igbos are not an aggressive people. They cannot fight. They could try to defend themselves, but they would never ever pick quarrels. They own properties all over Nigeria, but they bought the land on which they built all the properties. But there are ethnic groups who are programmed to fight. They grab lands and mismanage the lands. Igbos don't have this offensive habit. They don't have this offensive culture. And they cannot learn it. Adam wake benanka. So, if they will ever be safe in this world that we live in, it will be because the world becomes more civilized. But I've had Igbos come to my timeline and defend naked aggression. What's their defense? What are their thoughts? That the West abandoned the Igbos. Let them make a case to the West. Let them tell the West, you misbehaved. That is what is expected of them. What they will never understand, what they will never see, standing up, I see it squatting down. The West behaved hypocritically when the Igbo nation was being destroyed. But the Igbo nation will not be protected because all around the world are autocrats. Because the autocrats are completely opposite what the Igbos stand for. They would conceive the Igbos as enemies automatically. And when the Igbo nation was being destroyed, the autocrats supported the side that was destroying them. But I learned to tolerate their dissent, to tolerate their opposition. Because as I stated, as I was starting this video, what we have is worth protecting. Free speech, democracy, rule of law. That is what we inherited. In the epic novel Things Fall Apart, Okonkwo, who became one of the most prosperous men in his community, Umuofia, talked down on an Igbo who failed. The elders who led the Igbo society rebuked him and told him to apologize, because as the Igbos see the world, it is that everybody must be allowed to talk. And my fellow Igbos, this is the most advanced form of government, or rather, this produces the most advanced form of government in the world. So it is worth protecting. We will not be a captive people forever. But what would lead to our freedom is protection of what we have. Highlighting them, renewing them, respecting them. And that is why I forced myself to endure, to take arguments when they don't even make sense. Thank you.